morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. Today we are observing the monthly memorial for the Watsonville Buddhist Temple. Although each week we gather to observe a weekly memorial service for each of the 3 temples in our area, I hope that everyone from all the temples who are logging in today will find benefit from today's service. To begin with, I'd like to ask you to please join me in Gassho. Since the attainment of Buddhahood by Amida, 10 kalpas have now passed. The light radiating from the Dharmakaya has no limits. It illuminates the world's blindness and darkness. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. And now if you'll all please light the candles of your butsudan, your home altar, burn some incense as we begin the sutra chanting of the Sambujo, the Sambutsuge, the Jusei. And during the sutra chanting, you'll see the names of families observing the memorial in the month of April for the Watsonville Buddhist Temple. Namandav, 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 Namandavs, 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 Namandavs. this occasion of the Watsonville Buddhist Temple May Shotsuki Hoyo Memorial Service. Members of the Sangha have gathered in front of their home Obutsu-dans and joined us today to reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory of their beloved family members. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance, I go to the Dharma for guidance, I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Kia Boots, Namo Kia Ho, Namo Kia So, Nam Mandams, Nam Mandams, Nam Mandams, Nam Mandams.
知恵無限上量子孫知が信行軽量心思食特中学業精進因受大勢の Namanda, 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 Namanda. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'd like to ask you now to please join me in the Gatha Namo Amida Butsu. And if you have the large purple service book that we have on our website, you'll find it on page 174. When life is fair and sunlight gilds the day, when fortune smiles and clouds adorn our way, let us pause with grateful hearts to say, E'en though our way leads 'neath a darkened sky, and to our loved ones pain and death draw nigh, our tears may flow, yet trusting we cry, Namo Thank you. Please join me in the reading of the threefold refuge. Difficult is it to receive a human form, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Dharma of the Buddha, now we hear it. If we do not cross over to the truth in the present life, in what life shall we cross over? Let us with sincerity and true reverence take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we, together with all sentient beings, awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the unsurpassed intent of Amida Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we together with all sentient beings enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we together with all sentient beings become units in true accord, in harmony with all things. The peerless, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter, even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Sankhya-mo, Ninjin kegatashi, ima sudani iku. Buppo kikigatashi, ima sudani ikiku. Kono mikonjo ni makate dose zumba, sarani izure no sho ni mukatte ka kono mi wo dosen. Daishu morotomo ni shishin ni sammo ni kieshi tate matsuru beshi. Mizukara butsu ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masani negawaku wa shijo to tomo ni daido o taige shite mujo yoko san. Mizukara ho ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masani negawaku wa shijo to tomo ni Fukaku kyozo ni irite chie umi no gotoku naran. Mizukara so ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masani negawaku wa shijo to tomo ni daishu wo tori shite issai muge naran. Mujo jinjin myo no ho wa yaku senman go ni mo ayo koto katashi. Orima kenmon shi juji suru koto o etari. Negawaku wa mirai no shinjitsu gi o geshi shitati matsuran. Nammandavus, 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 nammandavus. Please join me in Gasho. The light of purity is without compare. When a person encounters this light, all bonds of karma fall away. So take refuge in Amida, the ultimate shelter. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Once again, good morning, everyone. You know, I was listening to the radio. I do that a lot. I listen to the music, and I have a radio station that is a favorite in the car, which is 60s music. And when I was in high school, a song came out that was very popular. It was done by the Rolling Stones, and the title of this song was called "Give Me Shelter." It came out in 1969. Some of you who are listening may recall that song. For those who do not, I'm going to share with you some of the lyrics of this song. Okay, so let's take a look at these lyrics. Give me shelter. Oh, a storm is threatening my very life today. If I don't get some shelter, oh yeah, I'm gonna fade away. Oh, see, the fire is sweeping our streets today. Burns like a red carpet. Mad bull lost its way. A flood is threatening my very life today. Give me shelter, or I'm gonna fade away. These are the words from the song, Give Me Shelter, words and lyrics by Mick Jagger and Michael Phillip. As you look at this lyrics, does it remind you of a Buddhist story? It reminds me of the Zendo story of the White Path and the two rivers, one of fire, one of water. And the traveler is stuck between these this world and the world of the Pure Land. And across the shore, Amida is beckoning him to come just as you are and find shelter in the Pure Land. And now, 50 years later, these lyrics, they make me think about where we are now. And it makes me think about how for the past year, over a year now, we've had to shelter in place. The pandemic spread throughout our country and around the world. Now, we had to look, to find shelter in our homes from the world. Ever since last year, March 2020, we've had to shelter away in our homes. Many people who are still working had to leave their offices and work from home. Our homes became a shelter from the COVID-19. Things are beginning to relax a little bit. However, it gives us a chance to pause and think about how our homes have been sheltered from the storm of the world in a very real way. And the more we think about our homes and the shelters that they have become, how many things that our homes shelter us from. It is a haven from the weather when it turns bad. It's a safe place from the dangers of the world. It's also a psychological shelter from the anxieties, from the cruelties, from the hellish moments in our lives. And when we do find shelter, it gives us a sense of safety, a sense of peace. And this is great, but even in our homes, we cannot completely relax. We cannot completely find shelter from all of the world's troubles. It still reaches us. Now, typically, we rely on our friends, we rely on our family, we rely on our money, we rely on our place in the world, our social status, and they bring us happiness, and they bring us support in our lives and shelter from the rest of the world. However, as you know, these things also can bring us troubles. And at some point, all of these things that we typically rely on, they fade away, or they die. This is the truth of impermanence that we have heard over and over and over again. Now, if we truly contemplate this matter, we come to realize that we cannot rely on these things. They are unreliable, and in the end, they change or they fade away. Shinran Shonin, he found shelter from the political and religious attacks on him and Honen Shonin, from the world ravaged by civil wars, by the suffering of famines and pestilence. He found shelter in Namu Amida Butsu. He taught that Amida Buddha is the ultimate reliance, the ultimate shelter, and gives us true peace of mind. And so he wrote in his Wasan, the light of purity is without compare. When a person encounters this light, all bonds of karma fall away. So take refuge in Amida, the ultimate shelter. Now this month and each month, we observe a memorial service. And these services are held for your father, for your mother, for your children, for your brothers and sisters,
or your friends and people that you relied on. And you have lost that person that may have been the most important person in your life. By conducting these services each month, I hope you each can come to accept their death. It can open up your hearts and minds to Amida Buddha and the Nembutsu. And it can become a shelter from the grief and sorrow and bring about a reliance on Amida Buddha. Through your loved ones, through their life, through their death, we are awakened to the true and real intent of Amida Buddha and the infinite wisdom and compassion that is Amida Buddha. Each time that you say Namo Amida Butsu, you are responding to the call of your loving parent, your child, your sibling, your friend, who reminds us that the true shelter is found in Amida Buddha. So as I reflect back on this song that was called Give Me Shelter, I'm reminded of the true and real and reliable shelter from all the difficulties of this world is found in Amida Buddha, his vow to embrace and save each and every one of us, irregardless, just as we are. So in deepest gratitude, please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, everyone. Before we close, I'd like to make a few announcements. Next week, we will be observing the Monterey Peninsula Buddhist Temple's May Shotsuki Hoyo, and that'll be next week at 10 o'clock for that service. And I want to remind everybody that 2 weeks from today, on May 16th at 10 o'clock a.m., we will be having a Coast District combined Gotai service, celebrating the birth of our founder, Shinran Shoni. Our special guest speaker for that service will be Reverend Grant Ikuta of the Stevenson Buddhist Temple in British Columbia. The link for that service will be in your local newspapers. It will be a Zoom service, and so please look for that in your newsletters or on the website. Again, that's 2 weeks from today on May 16th. And now I'd like to share with you this week's bingo numbers for those playing bingo with the Watsonville Buddhist Temple. First number is B3, B3. Second number is I19, I19. The third number is B10, B10. Fourth number, I23, I23. And the fifth and last number, 072, 072. Good luck. If you do win bingo, please contact the Watsonville Buddhist Temple office. And now, finally, I'd like to ask all of you to please support the Watsonville Buddhist Temple's upcoming fundraising of the ritual play called The Betrayed on May 22nd. I'd like to now share with you a short trailer of the virtual play. And so if you'll please watch this video, and please do go online and buy your tickets and support this important fundraiser for the Watsonville Buddhist Temple. For the past year and a half, the Watsonville Buddhist Temple has had to postpone or cancel many of its fundraising events. In place of this, we are presenting the virtual play, The Betrayed, on May 22nd, 2021. This is a virtual 2-act play by the playwright Hiroshi Kashiwagi. It will be followed by a discussion with Dr. Satsuki Inna, Soji Kashiwagi, and cast members Helen Ota and Michael Palmer. The two-act play is a love story about a young Nisei couple who meet at Tule Lake, fall in love, but are torn apart by two controversial government-issued loyalty questions. 40 years later, they meet again and discover their answers to these questions had consequences that affected them for the rest of their lives. During the post-screening discussion, supporters will have a chance to meet the cast members, Helen Ota and Michael Palmer, and discuss the long-term after effects of the loyalty controversy with Dr. Satsuki Ina and Shoji Kashiwagi. He is the executive director of The Grateful Crane and son of the playwright Hiroshi Kashiwagi, who passed away in 2019. As an internee, Hiroshi Kashiwagi firsthand experienced the tension between the generations brought on by the loyalty question posed by the government. Through his work, his wish was for decade-old rifts to find reconciliation and community healing. He was a true Japanese-American treasure. He was a poet, playwright, and actor. As a pioneer figure in the Asian American art and literature movement, he inspired many young artists along the way. We are proud to present this benefit screening for the Watsonville Buddhist Temple, Saturday, May 22nd, 2021, from 1 o'clock p.m. Donations $25 per person or $50 per household. Tickets are available at eventbrite.com. If you search for The Betrayed, you will find the tickets. Ticket holders will receive an email with the link to the virtual play 48 hours prior to the showing. If you have questions, you can contact the Watsonville Buddhist Temple through email at buddhist@wbtemple.org. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. I'd like to now ask you to please join me in the Gatha Ondoku-san 2, found on page 220. Please join me in Gasho. The light of his wisdom is measureless. All conditional forms, without exception, are enveloped in the dawning light. Therefore, take refuge in the true light. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in today and joining us for the May Shotsuki in Watsonville. Please take care, and I look forward to seeing all of you next week. Thank you very much. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.